Yeah,
So
finally.
we've done all of Niffle, all of Moosepel, and Loki has a nice bonus.
Now
so
we're
now
on
we're
to,
transitioning into death.
Oh,
Moving on. I honestly
So
think
I
that was the
think-
greatest boss theme they've had so far.
I think it's one of the worst. I think it's so excessively edgy. I hate it.
I actually like it.
So who are we gonna start with?
I
Well,
think
we
it's
should
only
start with
fitting that we begin
Air.
with Book 3's premiere
Yes,
OC,
Air.
Air. The
I
OC
also-
That you can get her
White
for free if you do book 3 chapter 1.
Right.
Yeah, do you remember Summoners?
Did you
can do- Did you know? I do think Air is better than both Fjorm and Serene.
Same.
I will say
Yeah,
that.
me too.
She's at least got something going for her, and she often shows up at Forging Bonds, and she's not just there to pep talk people and be like, hey, you should have fun and accept yourself. She's like, hey, what if like who's died in your life, or like why do you seem like you actually like live? And it's like, and she has some shit, and they're like, what the fuck
She
are you
has
talking
that
about?
whole philosophical discussion with Midori about trying to save the dying versus putting them out of their misery.
Right.
Oh yeah. And I like her quotes in Heroes too about what is she says.
death.
No, well, not her quotes. I mean, battle quotes are they can be cool, but I think her favorite quote of mine, I think, is let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. She says, "All people die sooner or later. That is what makes their lives shine so brightly." Yeah, I like that quote a lot.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
never used Air, actually, so...
I
I
use
never
her in
read her quotes. I
light
guess.
season sometimes, but yeah.
Wow,
I-
someone doesnn't play Ether Raids.
That is
W
true.
Omega.
Neither
W,
do
yeah.
I, but at least I,
I play
used to use
AR.
it back in the day.
I get to the top tiers, but
I'm not
I
a
don't
professional
get to,
AR player.
Top thousands, but yeah, I get up there sometimes.
Guys, I use Niles in my AR offense team. So
Yeah,
it's okay.
I know. Yeah. But I don't know. I like Air. I think that she's
I
pretty
think
cool.
I think she's deserving of at least a B or A.
I'd put her in high B or low A.
Yeah, same.
But can anyone like tell me what she does again in the story? I think I faintly remember her having 1,000 lives or something and being killed 999
Yeah.
times already.
Yeah, Hell just started to Hell. She wasn't actually Hell's kid, but Hell took her in and then just started killing her a bunch of times to I think
Rack up bodies for more power because Hell
Yeah.
grows stronger with every death.
Right.
Right.
And Air can conveniently die a lot of times. And, if we're talking about story stuff, then technically we could say that Air probably has one of the biggest impacts because, well, she's on her last life now and Hell's been using her as a tool. You know the ruined Aster that Leaf and Thrasir are from?
Mm-hmm.
Air is
that's right.
Air is more or less responsible for the fall of that entire realm because she was the one who assassinated that world summoner, and she nearly did it again.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that plotline. Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
let's just close up Air here.
Yeah.
I
Air,
think she
Air is pretty
deserves
good.
high B or low A.
Well, I wouldn't go that
Wait,
far.
people like Air.
Yes, a lot of people actually.
Well, I think she
has a character.
Are you saying that sarcastically or not?
I don't know. I don't even know what's her character besides being dead.
Well, I mean, we were
Well,
talking
let's-
about it a little bit while you were
yeah.
gone, but it was that she, unlike people like Serene or Fjorm, for example, like Forging Bonds, she doesn't give people pep talks, and she instead she's like, hey, like how are you, and like what does it feel like to be to consider the difference between.
Oh yes, she had
life
that
and
thousand
death.
bones about childbirth.
Yeah, that's
With
right,
Lena,
and about like
yeah.
whether it's
Yes.
worth it to like save people or not, and she has some cool quotes too, like about
Yes.
like people die, but that's why their lives
She also
shine
gave
brightly
power to
because-
Hell, so that's a plus.
Yeah,
Of course it would be.
Based, yeah.
Let's not forget about her New Year's alt because that happened,
That
Yes,
happened.
Temari is useful.
and we
Oh, yeah,
kind
it
of
is.
slowly
She
start to
sounds
get to see
different,
her
yeah.
improve.
Yeah, she sounds a little less.
Oh yes, and
like
she's free for later raids. That's
she
all
gets
it
bonus
is.
points for being voiced by Marianne and Haru too. So, in case you guys don't know, well, Rawr knows who
Voiced by
Haru is,
Marianne
but,
is a negative,
True.
well, Marianne's fine, but
and Haru doesn't
Haru-
exist.
Haru doesn't. Shut up. Persona 5 Royal exists. She got at least something extra.
Oh, Persona again? Come on, guys. Come on.
But if you don't know who Haru is, that's kind of sad, man. Because Persona 5.
That's not
has been in
sad.
the
He
media
just
for-
played Persona
for a
5 because
while.
he has 0 screen time in that game.
Royal, she gets more. Okay.
Yes, unless yes, but you have to buy the $60 DLC. That's actually a different game.
Okay, you got me there.
Okay, well, Air.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would personally
I would put her in
say
low
C
A
tier.
high.
I wouldn't put her that high because I don't
That's
think
weird.
she's.
That's weird. You were going on and on about her praises before, and then now you're like, oh, C.
Was I?
C tier for design trap.
I don't remember praising her at any point.
Maybe I was thinking of what Mr. Year was saying. So
Perhaps.
I
yeah.
also- I also like
Mr. 365 worldwide, as I call him. Yeah.
Also, she also gives Mystic Boost, which is an amazing skill.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
fine. Well, it used to be amazing until we got the seal. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
now
I-
it's even better.
And now
I'd
it's
say
even worse.
the one weird thing about Air that has to be mentioned is the end of Book 3, Hell's dead, and Air cannot bring herself to hate Hell, and she still loves her as though Hell is her actual mother. That
It is
was
kind of weak.
based.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
well, but that's a thing that you usually
doesn't
see
love
in
hell.
fiction.
Well, that's called Stockholm syndrome, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, that's why.
Crap.
Oh.
But I mean,
It
at the
returns.
same time, Air herself also says that she has very faint memories of a time when Hell legitimately cared for her.
Well, yeah.
So that could be. Yeah,
We
but
never
Before
get to see
she
that.
like really learned about the whole exploiting Air's many lives thing.
Ripperonis and pepperonis. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
but what
air
I'm-
is free energy. Why wouldn't you use it?
So I'm predominantly hearing B tier. Is that right?
We can go B
C
tier.
tier.
That's fine. with me.
Above Alphonse, below Leguern?
Sure. That's
Alongside
Default Mystic
Yarn,
Boost.
sure.
There we go.
That's
Alrighty.
fine. Okay, now we
So
get
now
to
fun fact.
move on.
I
Are
would
we
say
gonna do which one are we gonna do next?
Hell?
I
Leaf,
suppose
Thrasir,
since
or
we-
Hell?
It would be a nice transition to go into Hell, considering.
I
we
guess
just-
so. Hell's
we
the
just-
fucking stupidest bitch of all time.
S tier, S tier, S tier.
Yes, for a second. Let me
tier for
just.
Whoa,
Stockholm
slow-
syndrome.
Slow down for just a moment there. Hell in F tier.
Right.
S tier.
Please,
Are you
Rawr.
saying that as a joke or are you serious?
I'm serious. I
Okay,
have
well-
a lot of history
I
with
wanna-
Hell.
He's
I
half
have to hear
serious.
this.
Well, Rawr, the floor is all yours. Please explain.
Basically, I saved around 700 orbs for a legendary Edelgard in summer of 2020.
This story again. Okay.
Yes, and the character that was going to appear was legendary Edelgard, and then Thrasir, and then a secret one that, if it wasn't the new mythic, it would be Rinka. That's another character that I was going for a +10. And then I made a bet, if it was Hell out of the sudden, I would have to +10 a random character. That night appears, I just wake up in the morning because that's when the hero's banner hits me with that screaming of the boss team. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
hear Hell. And then that night, before the mega summon of 700 orbs, I just stay awake all night because of mosquito infestation until 6 AM killing mosquitoes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here I am. 7 AM is the reset. Or 8 AM, I forgot. With 700 orbs, doing the Omega Summon with Hell, listening to their boss teams, completely dead because I didn't sleep that night. So I was literally dead. And then
Summoning
I
for
got 3
Hell.
Hells and
Nice.
6 Thrasirs and only 1 legendary Edelgard.
That really is tragic. Just every time I
Yes,
heard that
it-
story, it's more tragic.
Yes,
It's,
and
Yeah,
because
that
of
is
that,
pretty
I just
tragic.
memed Hell into oblivion. I just supported her with Gustav. I just used her.
Yeah.
Makes
Now,
sense.
I love
Makes
it.
sense.
I went from hating Hell to absolutely loving her. Stockholm syndrome
yes.
at its best.
Pairing
Yeah.
Hell with Gustav. Now that's what we call a twisted joke. An interesting thing about Hell is that she's in
Called?
quite a few ways similar to Surtur and how brutal she is, but unlike Surtur, who's very loud and proud about it, Hell is way more, fittingly cold and calculated about it. Like,
Yes.
you know she is just utterly twisted and irredeemable, but at
Yes,
the
that-
same time,
Yes,
it's like such a more, like I said, quiet thing, and I respect that. I'd say she's better than Surtur, but like not by like a crazy amount, by a
Yes.
slightly noteworthy amount.
she's an animal following her instinct as the Queen of Death. Because
Yeah,
that's her
Put it
nature
that-
to kill
I
people.
guess you could put
Very
it that
poetic.
way.
Very nice.
and the beautiful irony of all of her quotes talking about how death comes to all, and
Yes.
then she herself dies.
Yes,
Can I
take a
die?
shot every time she talks about death. I basically died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. That
Alcohol
sounds about
poisoning
right.
within 5 minutes.
Very
Yep.
plausible.
Yes.
Yeah.
How to get hell in real life.
Hell speedrun.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd say Hel's a pretty well written character.
Sorry.
She's complex enough to get I'd say B,
S tier?
C.
Really? I would personally put Hell maybe D, very low D.
Very
Okay,
low
then
D.
I
It's
guess-
probably
I
around
guess we
here
could-
somewhere.
If we average her out, we'd put her in low C then. So
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Didn't we say S, B?
You said
D,
S,
and
yeah.
we were putting her in low C because that's the average.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Sorry.
I could
Because-
see Hell placing in like mid to high D, but if you're asking for my own honest opinion, then where she is right now is good.
Fair enough.
Because unlike Surtur, Hell isn't inherently evil. She's just following her nature.
Wow, you're one of those people
Well.
who's like, women are one way and men are another. Huh, Rawr?
No.
Now you're just overgeneralizing into saying,
And like
oh,
white
man.
people are one way and black people are another way.
No, don't bring this up again. Don't do this.
I got destroyed with facts and logic.
Okay, before this goes out of hand, who is next? Is it Gustav or Henriette or who is it?
Leaf.
Mr. Gustav.
Sure, we can talk about Gustav. Another
S tier.
case of the guy
Yeah.
getting handled.
He belongs
better.
next to hell.
Yes,
Why?
in S tier. In my list is next to Hell in S tier.
I see. Why?
Only because you S supported them with each other.
Yes. No, but as a character, I really like Gustav.
Okay.
Especially
Yeah,
with
as-
his
as a
new
character.
house. Because he now gets lines.
Right.
Yeah, he's very good indeed, and I'm still patiently awaiting the day he gets promoted to playable.
Yes.
Yes,
Actually,
regular
he uses
Gustav.
I mean,
is.
playable lines as an enemy
I mean-
within his alt.
That's
so, like,
right,
I don't
yeah.
think he will ever be playable.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like properly promoted to playable, where it's like
Yes.
him on the horse. I want
Mhm.
that Gustav.
I do like that Gustav for no particular
Yes.
reason.
Both
I just like
Gustavs are
him.
amazing. And then the new Gustav is drawn by Izuka.
The new Gustav is fucking
Yeah.
disease. It's just
Why?
because
I'm going to kill you.
he's annoying to fight against. That's why he's stupid.
Yeah,
well,
He has
yes,
like
yes, he is
20
the one to
million
fight against,
defense
yeah.
and resistance, and nothing
That's why I
scratches
have so
him.
many of them.
It's just the
Savior skills.
the bulk power creep just keeps getting worse. But whatever, that's my personal irritation out there. But that's not the Gustav
Well,
we're talking
putting that-
about now.
Putting that aside.
Putting that aside, regular Gustav is pretty good in my opinion. Even, well, when we see him first, it's like he's introducing like the basics of being a king to Alphonse and telling him,
Yes.
I don't exactly know what his advice is, but I think it's something along the lines of you can't save everyone. It's
Yes.
like it's a more
Which is
realistic
great.
side of being a king.
Yeah, because
He's
there's
very
that
serious
interesting-
and devoted, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little backstory, interesting detail about Gustav because in terms of like book 3 and the way Alphonse's character developed, looking at who Alphonse was before Gustav died, that was Gustav when he was younger.
Yeah.
Really?
And he yes, and that scar he has on his face, and the reason he had to toughen up and get serious and all that was because he's encountered hell before. He knows what he's dealing with,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that scar
Yes.
was proof of it.
That's
He's
right, I
new
remember
life.
that. And he said that my scar chalked that one up to a hero from another world. He said, "Yeah,
Yes.
it is." I'm looking at his quotes here. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like a real, like, truly defining character moment for Gustav isn't even actually the moment where he dies. It's the
Yes.
moment where he tries to have like one
He's a
last
Fire Emblem
heart to
dad.
heart with Alphonse. Like, I mean, Fire Emblem dad, sure, whatever, but like that little moment where he's like trying to get Alphonse to remember the good old days when it was all just a little bit more messing around and trying to have a good time, and seeing that very soft side to Gustav before even all this alt stuff started to happen, that was the moment that really endeared me to his character.
I'd put him in like high B.
Yes,
I'd
high
put him
B,
in,
low A,
I'd put
low
him in
A.
high B too.
G tier
Or
for
A.
Grail.
S tier for
Well, he is a
Or
buff.
even A. I'd even put him in A.
He is a
wouldn't mind.
Fire Emblem
Yes, A.
father, so he was fated to die sometime.
yes, that's his only issue
Yeah.
that he dies. Only because
Except
he's-
Eliwood. Eliwood is base because Eliwood never dies.
True.
Yes, Ellie would never die. He just
Yeah.
cheats the system.
Eliwood can't die. He's got a dragon lady to tap.
Yes.
Okay, well,
So overall, I can buy arguments for Gustav being in either B or A. So
A tier in my
whichever.
A tier.
Cobs.
I
We
go
can
for
put him in
low
A tier,
A
that's
tier.
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
also
he
love
fits
how
well
his
here.
save skill is a reference to him saving Alphonse, and then Basically, his power creeps armors because of that.
Speaking of save skills, next up is Henriette, the mom who
Henriette.
didn't die.
Right.
S tier, she's a MILF, S tier.
Don't.
No bias here.
Don't pull
I'm
this
kidding, I'm
again.
kidding.
Totally not
Okay.
any bias here. No, it's not. It's, you know, she got them Hartman hips,
Like my
that hourglass
objectives.
figure.
Yes, unlike my objective arguments for hell, interesting is biased.
No, I actually, unlike you though, I'm not going to insist on S tier. I don't. Henriette's character, I think, is.
Yes,
that's-
because we are being subjective.
What does Henriette
Well-
even do?
Hey, she's
She's-
a weird spot. Like,
She's like Serene, except like not immature and goofy. Like she has a fun time. She cares for people. She's like MILF bait. So yeah.
She's
also a
Serena,
dragon,
but
I guess.
older.
okay,
I
like
wouldn't say. Well, I wouldn't say. She's Serena plus a few things and minus a few things. So
Okay.
Yes, and she's also the dragon, I guess, based on her dialogue.
yeah.
She's also
you're-
what?
Yeah, the dragon, based on her dialogue.
If you're speaking with me before her Valentine's alt came out, I would put Henriette in C or maybe even D tier. But
Each
after
is-
that alt came out, and we started getting this surprise dialogue about Henriette trying to suppress some insane power she
Yes.
has,
It's the
shit
Aga
just
Aga
got
power.
interesting.
I was hoping that would be brought up.
So now it's like we're waiting to see what the big deal with Henriette is. So it's like, and I mean, like, unlike with Loki, who has like all of this stuff but nothing's happening. It's like,
Oh
we're
yeah,
only seeing-
Henriette's. I'm looking at her lines. She says like she has to hold back,
Like
or,
this power,
Yes.
never again, she says.
Yeah,
or that power.
Which means she's a dragon in disguise.
which provides a whole new level of context to that Forging Bonds event where she cameos and she says that she can't fight.
Yes.
It was just a guise for her to do nothing.
And then in the trailer, she appeared and she says, "I am holding back." So
Yeah.
Yes. That means Gustav.
Gustav
into
knows
a
how to
dragon.
pick a good woman.
Wow.
Yes.
Gustav is
Yeah.
Hollywood? Question mark?
yeah,
You have to do a
Two-
theory on that.
two guys who both bang the dragon.
But that's
Guys who
just
bang
a
the
theory.
dragons. Yeah,
Again.
Don't forget the
a game
clickbait.
theory.
Henriette now has the interest factor because something is teased about her, some hidden power, and we don't know what it is yet.
I'd say C tier for her.
Yeah, like
C tier.
I could either C like on the higher end of things or at the bottom of B. Well, maybe not the bottom of B, but like I can buy her being in C either way.
Well, the thing for me
Yeah.
right now is we haven't seen anything of this power yet. So far she hasn't really
Yes.
achieved much. She hasn't done much. She's not very
But
interesting.
you still seem to like her more than Hell, though. You seem to have a
Yeah,
particular.
well, that is true. I'd
I
put her
would
right
put
here.
her. I'd put her right there too.
I don't mind.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. There we go.
I can buy the argument of, well, she hasn't really done much yet, so once she really starts to do things, we can promote her to
Okay.
B tier.
Right.
Until that point,
Potentially.
have fun being average.
Yep.
I guess now we have a Lif or Leaf. Yeah.
Leaf. Yes.
I say Leaf.
Life.
Some people say Lif, and that's cringe. So
Isn't it like life in Norwegian?
It's Icelandic, I think.
Icelandic, yes.
yeah, I believe it's
Life.
Icelandic, but I say Leaf.
I really think
be worthless.
Oh God,
Can
Yuri's
speak.
dying over here because he loves Leaf.
me too.
You're asking me amongst the
Yes,
forces
Leaf from
of
FE5
hell,
is a good character.
Leaf is the
Yeah,
best of
Leaf
the
from
bunch.
FE5 is based.
I think Leaf is infinitely better than Alphonse, personally.
Yes, Leaf is much
Well,
better than Alphonse.
Yes,
He's
which
a
is
little better,
hilarious
yeah.
because of the whole Leaf is Alphonse thing.
Yeah,
he's
that
edgy,
is
but
true, I
Leaf
guess.
is from Thrasir.
He's edgy, but I can forgive him for being edgy. You know, technically in the story, he's not edgy for edgy's sake. I know. I just think
Yes.
that Faye wanted the developers were like, we want an edgy character, and they were like,
Yes,
hey, it's
edgy
a good way to do it.
Alphonse.
So yeah, but
Yes.
I don't take that. I don't blame that on him.
Yes.
I
Just like Leaf in FE4 is also edgy.
Leaf has the edgy factor, but then again, it doesn't really detriment his character because it fits him.
Yes. Yes.
It fits the theme of the book, well, obviously. Otherwise, it wouldn't
Basically,
appear.
he thinks Alphonse is an idiot.
And
Makes
he's
sense.
voiced by Edward Bosco, who does a great job at it, I think.
Mr. Bosco, who does Gustav and
And also Luke, so I am a tiny bit biased, but he does a good job.
And making Gustav
Got
is
him.
a
Love the
plus.
Luke.
But just,
Yeah.
he's more assertive than Alphonse, I think is the word.
Leaf can get A tier. That's fine with me.
Yes, I was about to suggest
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, above Gustav, but definitely not above Hellbin.
No, definitely not. even though I do love his design the most out of any OC in Fae, I do think he's not better than
It was fun.
Halbindi.
But then, okay, but that's fine. But then, oh boy, Fates! I can't believe what kind of I can't wait to hear what kind of Aspel you're going to do for. Well, excuse me. Thrasir is actually not nearly as good for many reasons.
Small spoiler, but that is how I feel about Thrasir.
Oh my god! Holy shit! He's not that much different. Like,
sorry, I just don't really like Thrasir.
Women. Okay.
Women.
Okay.
Sorry.
Women. Yeah. Women are kind of your... Yeah,
like, meet me all you want, but I just don't like Thrasir that much. It's just...
Why?
Why?
Why like
know.
Leaf a lot and then not like Thrasir much?
Because Leaf has a cool design. I don't like Thrasir's design
Oh my
that
god,
much.
female designs, yes, we know.
Female design.
Yes.
No.
Except for Violet gets a pass on the female design, but all of the female designs...
No!
Knows your cues.
Please don't pigeonhole me into only liking men now. That's just... no.
Like, let's just take a quick moment to acknowledge the fact that there is a bit of armor where that's like, missing at a certain part of her body.
Oh yes. At the pelvis area.
I mean, I could definitely see eye to eye with the idea that Thrasir can't exactly hold a candle to Leaf.
Right?
At the same time, though, she isn't awful.
No, she isn't
isn't-
awful, by no
She
means.
isn't
She's white-haired
Miles.
Soleil.
Why is she white-haired Soleil?
No, that's
Look at her
interesting.
design. She looks like Soleil with white hair.
And also, you've been pronouncing her name wrong this whole time. It's French, my friend. It's Soleil.
No, it's Soleil. I will not talk like the French. The French deserve zero heights.
Well, the French
boy.
do hold up the white flag pretty often, more than their own flag, so...
Okay, well, but yeah, what Yearlinger said, like, Thrasir isn't miles worse than Leaf, by no means.
I wouldn't say, yeah, but
I think most
I don't-
Book 3 characters are pretty good compared to most of the cast, but I don't think she's as good as Leaf.
I'd put her in like mid-B tier, but...
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, it's not miles apart.
She just needed a little more time put into her, which, I mean, I guess we kinda got, again, through the duo ult she got alongside Leaf.
I don't know, maybe I have a little bit of bias towards Thrasir because she's like, what if Veronica were like killed, but then like she became like non-lolly, and then like actually...
I forget
yeah.
she's
Ah,
even Veronica in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, and-
Thrasir,
For me, she's
also known as
white-haired.
Legal
Yeah,
Veronica.
she's better than Veronica. She's more interesting than Veronica, and she's... and I actually, I'm not a shipper per se, but I do think that she and Leaf are best together.
Well, I think Thrasir is sitting nice and cozy here.
That's
Mid-B
fine,
tier.
yeah, that's pretty cozy.
Yeah.
Now we get to move on to the shitty OCs.
Edgy
Yeah.
Soleil is a good character.
Wait, why are they shitty?
Because Book 4 is a fucking disaster.
I mean, I like
Okay,
some of the
Fates,
book
I have to
there.
agree with
Book
you.
4
there,
has
yeah.
Freyja. It's not a disaster because of...
Well, I mean, okay, Freyja's not absolutely terrible. I will say that. Yeah.
But we start with Peony. Did you know you can get her if
Yeah,
you complete chapter
It's
1
actually-
of Book 4?
Did you know? But she's just so you know, it is Peony. I want to confirm this because the flower is pronounced Peony, and that's what she's named after.
Oh, Peony? That makes sense. Okay, sure.
I rate Peony as like Serene plus. Yeah.
I guess. Probably, yeah.
I'd say she's decent. She's nothing
I'd say
crazy,
she's-
nothing
I'd say she's, like,
spectacular.
High mid C tier. I'd say.
Yeah, same here.
I just
same
kind of have a bias against Book 4. I just think it's so terribly...
Well, yeah,
like,
I don't like book 4, but I think Peony herself. Is
It's just so terribly insalvageable that I just can't relate to many of its characters.
unsalvageable. Yeah.
I mean, that is how I feel about it. I think it's really just the worst thing to happen to Faye. Period.
Rip.
But, well,
That's an extremely hot take, but we'll
is
push
it?
onward.
Am I really alone in saying that Book 4 is
Yearlinger,
really just
I
terrible?
think Yearlinger is a big fan of book 4, so you might have some beef
Like,
with them over this.
I am honestly torn. Like, character-wise, I am so torn between books 3 and 4. If you're asking me.
As in,
Or
best
And-
characters, or what aspect?
Like, I mean, story-wise, book 3 has book 4 beat out, but in terms of the actual characters introduced, I'm split. And I'm not just saying that because book 4 is filled to the fucking brim with waifus.
Yeah, with
Fair.
fucking dreamy, like thick thigh, thick titty girls. Yeah.
I can agree with the statement that Peony is Serena plus, even if I do find Peony somewhat annoying.
Yeah. Well,
I guess she can go here.
I do like Peony's voice a lot. It's very cute.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say
She
Peony
actually
is-
voices Ilyana as well, which is cool.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Kinda
she's
sleepy.
serviceable.
Sorry, like,
I'm
I just also
sweet.
don't like Ilyana. She's
Well, yeah, Ilyana's a gimmick. I think she's
so
cute, but she's a gimmick.
fucking
so.
annoying.
I don't think
Oh
she's
my
annoying. I just think I think she's boring, but it's funny because her boring gimmick is like a gimmick. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Also, her voice
A
just makes me
Fire Emblem
cringe.
character.
Her voice, I like her
Character
voice.
is
I
hero
think it fits
with a
her
waifu
well.
gimmick.
You've never played Tellius, so I understand.
No, I haven't.
Because
Not
you,
yet.
you hate
anyway.
Tellius despite never playing.
No, I don't hate Tellius.
Yeah, you
Come
once
on.
said that. You once said basically.
I
hate
corrected
Tellius
myself, please.
characters. Yeah, but you still said it. Yeah.
Right, I said it once upon a time. But anyway,
Yeah.
who's next?
I'd put Peony in C tier myself.
Oh, okay.
but
Wait,
I can
so
understand a
we-
D tier place.
We can put her at bottom of C. We can do even if you.
We
if
could
you
either
want.
put her at the bottom of C or the top of D. Take your pick.
I would put her at top of C because you hate Hell more than Peony for sure. Fates and we.
Well, I guess.
Oh, we don't
That
So,
works.
Well, yeah, we could do that. That's fine.
yeah, fair enough. I guess I can go with
Now
that.
it's
Yeah.
time for Mirabilis.
Mirabilis. I don't know what drugs IS were on when they were making her character and her role in the story, but like, in terms
Yeah.
of the quality of Book 4 OCs, Mirabilis is the glaring exception, and it's probably the main reason why I'm so torn between Book 3's cast
Yeah,
being
I've-
the best and Book 4's cast being the best.
Mirabilis is cute, but she has no fucking like redeeming qualities whatsoever. She's like Linhardt, except you take away everything that makes Linhardt like even remotely interesting as a character.
Which is
Mhm.
Yeah, just-
hilarious because she appears alongside him
Yeah, I
in
know.
the Forging
Except-
Bonds event.
Yeah, except Linhardt, in the end of that Forging Bonds, Linhardt is like, hey, like, I actually want to research. And she's like, why would you not want to just nap and do nothing? And he's
Right.
like, well, because, I have to actually do stuff, like, after I nap. And she's like, wow, I can't understand that. Understandable. Not understandable. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Doing stuff? Couldn't be
I-
me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just
Mirabilis
remember-
is so
honestly,
fucking boring.
it-
Like, holy shit. She did nothing.
It honestly speaks volumes. The fact that IS damn near forgot about her after Book 4 ended. Like, we don't even get to see what happened to her at the end of Book 4. Like, we get to see
No.
Peony come to the real world. Plumeria and Triandra are back to life, but what happened to her?
I put her in E tier.
I would put her bottom of D tier just because she's cute, and I think that's a redeeming factor.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
put her
god.
at the
Wow,
bottom
you
of-
actually, you thinking a female is cute?
I like a female character for once. Deal with it.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Like,
Fates,
quote, unquote,
calm down.
Quote unquote, like, to an extent. I think she's cute, that's it.
Like, if I
doesn't make her a
am
better
being
character,
completely
though.
frank here,
Cuteness
like,
can be
either
a good
D
redeeming
tier
factor.
or E tier.
If you're
I go
being
here.
completely frank, what about E tier did you say?
I would say just the way that Mirabilis' character was so mishandled, that she was more or less just a living MacGuffin for Book 4. It's like,
MacGuffin, Pog,
yeah, that's why
a
I
fun
say there's
word.
an argument to be made for her being an E tier. And if you're asking me, she's tied with one other character at the moment, who we'll get to later, for the title of, in my opinion, the worst Fae OC.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Oh boy.
We surely will get to that, but for now,
That's
let's...
actually-
bottom,
That's
like, top
interesting.
three.
Interesting that you say that, Gear, because out of all the OCs left, I don't have a single one that I actively like really dislike. So.
No, me either.
Oh, don't worry. There is
I'm
one
curious.
I'm thinking of right now, and I'm pretty certain that none of you are going to remember them when they appear, and I mention them, and you're gonna be like, who?
Yes.
Yeah, I would. You can make a case for Mirabilis being an E tier.
We
Let's
could put
just...
her top of E.
Top of E. Yeah, that sounds
Top of E
reasonable
tier.
to me. Yeah.
Right. And
Okay.
now we can't really see him here because he wasn't included, the poor
Oh.
man. But now we get to talk about Dream King Freyr.
Freyr.
Oh, the guy who wasn't here. Oh,
Right.
that's why you were talking. That's okay. That you were right actually. That's why we didn't remember him because he wasn't here. Yeah.
He's like, at least there's something to Freyr. At least they kind of do something with him. Unlike
He's a
Mirabilis.
MacGuffin. He's
Well,
a
at
living
least-
MacGuffin.
At least they intend to do something, but in the end, he's just there and dies by the player's
But is
hands. So
To use your terminology though, isn't he a living MacGuffin? Like he's a MacGuffin as
Well,
a person.
To an extent, he can only be considered a living MacGuffin in the sense that that's what happened when Freyja slapped the binding necklace on him and took his powers. But it is
Oh, yeah.
he more so had an actual MacGuffin on him with the horn, Gulen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the
Oh.
horn was his. He carried the MacGuffin around. Yeah,
Yes, he carried.
What is a MacGuffin?
on
he
him.
was the MacGuffin transporter.
A MacGuffin is just some sort of item or object in a plot that is needed to progress the story, like the Sacred Stones.
A plot device or what?
Yes,
Or the
basically
horn,
plot
the dream
device.
horn.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
I know that.
Except
one. That's good.
except the Sacred Stones are handled a lot better than the Dream Horn. 'Cause
That
the
is
Sacred
true.
Stones actually-
Yes.
Yeah, the Sacred Stones actually like the villains actually like go around destroying them, and like you're down to 2, and it's
Mhm.
like it actually feels like there's some sense of urgency there.
Freyr is there. He's introduced.
He's
He's
there.
like he's an allied character, but he won't
I
give.
He's introduced, does a few things, provides a little backstory on Freyja, and then he dies.
Yeah, and he
I'd
doesn't,
put him
he
in, like-
doesn't want to
Yeah,
fall
which is
into enemy hands, and
I'd
that's
put him,
when you
like,
have to
above
kill him.
I'd put him like between Ilger and Fjorm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserves to be that low. Like, you
Yeah,
know
I
my
think-
opinion on
But-
Mirabilis.
But I mean,
think
even
he's
Ilger
like-
has lines. I mean,
I also don't understand why he's not been released as a playable character yet. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
because no
I
one
was
gives
gonna-
a shit.
I was
Because
gonna
nobody
say
gives a
that.
shit about him.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of
we-
people who want Freyr playable.
It's the weird
Yes.
thing because
Have you seen his
not
voice?
playable. Yeah,
I
he
can't- I
has
can't remember
voice
his
lines.
voice.
He's got crit quotes.
I can't remember his
Yes.
voice. I
You know, he
forgot.
has a very deep voice. He sounds like Athos would sound like.
Does
Frey-
nothing
I'd
and
put him-
dies.
At least go into D, I think.
Does nothing and
I
dies.
would-
D's giving him too much credit.
No,
Right.
Freyr dies. That's the
He
best.
dies. That's literally fucking all he does. Like, holy shit. So fucking boring. I really don't like
Part.
him.
Here because of the voice.
Do we consider
He's here
him
because of the
the
voice.
worst OC in Fae?
I would.
mean,
Well, I have
no.
bias against Ilger because I kind of hate her, but
Same.
I mean, like
So,
I said, there's at least 2 characters I'd consider to be worse than Freyr, and we already talked about one of them,
that being...
who would that be?
Mirabilis.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you would put him high E, I imagine.
We could
Well,
keep it. I don't
either-
care as long as he's an E tier. I don't care.
Fair.
I can
Fair.
buy an E tier placement, I suppose.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
above
guess me
Mirabilis.
too.
It's still above Mirabilis, yes.
And again, he does nothing and dies. That's not commendable in any way.
Yeah.
He doesn't
then
get
again,
time to be
neither-
fleshed out.
He gives
Yeah,
Gulen
these people
Kambi
don't
and
do
then he
anything
dies. That's like...
Let us
Okay,
pretend
now-
that Regan image there is of Freyr. Okay.
I'll make
Yeah.
it
So are we doing Plumeria or I think who comes first? Isn't it Plumeria or is
Well,
it
if we're
Triandra?
talking about Freyr, we might as well move on to Freyja next.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
S tier. There's no getting around if she gets
Oh
S
my
tier.
She's not getting S tier, I can tell you that in
Uh,
advance.
yeah, I can say that much.
Can she get at
uh,
least A tier?
You're only are you saying that just to conform with what you think that Year's gonna say?
No, I just really like Freyja.
I know
I
she
see.
loves Freyja, for a fact.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you all right this instant. Helbindi is brilliant. I just like Freyja more.
Really?
What do you think of Freyja? Fate, Mr. Fates man?
Mr. Fatesman. Well,
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Interesting
want to hear
Maneuver.
everyone else's opinions first before I say anything about Freyja.
Yes.
I know you love her, yeah, but
About Freyja. Let's see, what do I think of her? I honestly don't think
Oh,
much
boy.
about her. I'm kinda
you would
indifferent,
put,
like she's a
you
big
would put
part
her
of-
and literally forgot about those.
She's a beast
No.
unit.
These-
So
I
that's
wouldn't
an
put her
everything.
there. I don't forget about any Heroes characters because all of them are like dreadfully still like relevant. The things I do like about Freyja is how she keeps returning, right? She keeps getting stronger and stuff, and then in the end,
She sacrifices herself for the little fairy girls, the
Oh,
screwed up fairies.
is that
screwed
so?
up fairies, yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't read
Yes.
too much into the story because again, I
Yeah,
fucking hate Book 4.
yeah. Understandable, yeah.
But I do love her boss theme. I think that's really great. That was like great
Yes,
execution.
her boss team is
Her-
amazing.
Her boss
Yeah.
theme
Her
sounds
boss
like the
theme
world is
is-
literally breaking, and that's a cool
Her-
detail, I think.
Yes, and it includes music from all games.
Right.
If you could hear LFG, that's Freyja's theme.
Yeah. So let's move on to
Um,
you. Interesting. What do you think?
I think Freyja's like high B tier. She's more interesting than the other villains, I think.
Well,
she's
yeah,
hot,
definitely.
and she and I like her voice, and I don't know. I don't think she's anything amazing, but she's pretty solid, and I kind of like what she did. And
Would you say she's the goat of Fire Emblem Heroes OCs?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
she is not the goat of Fire Emblem Heroes OCs, but she is in the upper half of Heroes OCs for sure. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Upper third or so. Yeah.
Now I think Yuri can say his piece.
Yes.
Haven't you? But have you said your piece yet? I want to save my opinion for last.
She's very interesting. I like the whole sacrificing herself to save the fairies.
She pulled a maneuver.
She
definitely did.
pulled a maneuver. She's well written. I don't remember much else. She's just.
Oh no, you don't remember stuff about her. Oh no.
Oh boy.
It's been a while
Hey.
since I've read through book 4.
Oh boy. It's time.
Part 4.
It's time, boys.
No.
No!
Oh no.
I found that book 4 is a special case in that a lot of people haven't really concerned themselves with it.
Yeah. The
It's like
throwaway
I don't think
story.
it was until the tail end of book 4 that people really started to like concern themselves with it again, and then by that point,
Yeah.
book 5 was starting to roll around, and they were just like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we go
people
from there."
Yeah.
People started to forget, to pay attention to face story because they're like, huh, story? The hell's that?
Which is hilarious because book 4 is all just a dream, and real life people usually forget them.
Ooh.
It even
Ooh.
happens in the actual story when everyone starts waking up and the group's like, "What the hell was going on? I think we were asleep for 3
What
days.
the
Were we
hell
dreaming?"
was going on? Overall, Fates, I'm curious. You said Freyja's like, you don't to feel too strongly
Wait,
about her.
we
Where
haven't
would-
given
where-
Yuri his
Oh.
shine.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The person who has the most pronounced opinion.
The day
Please.
of reckoning has finally come.
Yes.
Because you're asking me, it's like I said just a moment ago, yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. Like, when it comes to trying to make your main antagonist sympathetic or likable, or make a redemption story
Yes.
that actually doesn't feel phoned in, Veronica, Freyja is, as questionable as the writing for Faye as a whole can be, Freyja is, if you ask me, a masterclass in how to do it. Because it's not like you have the character be objectively evil for a while, and then you start making them questionable. Like, if you want to do that, you'd have to do what Avatar did and have them there from the get-go and have a ton of shit happen to them.
Pog.
Heroes doesn't have that liberty. Freyja has one book to really get redeemed, and the thing they do is that they, aside from the whole power thing and brother incest, it's
That's classic
displayed.
Fire Emblem.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, genealogy.
Harvest
it's-
and Deirdre sitting
like-
in a tree. They are sister and brother. Okay.
Once part 2 kicks in and Freyja gets properly introduced as a character, it's like, for those who are paying attention to the story, it was almost immediately apparent just how stark a contrast Freyja was to the previous antagonist. I mean, it's a night and day difference. It's even if it's like when Plumeria and Triandra start remembering shit, and it's like you'd think normal antagonists would just try and whip their subordinates back into order or something like that. Freyja goes in the complete opposite direction of that. She actually legitimately, without realizing it or not, gives a shit about them and helps them, and considering her backstory and her life growing up, it's all like, it makes sense. Even
She's a
the fact that
yandere.
she's yandere and all that, but it's like, it says something when even her type of mythic hero, Light, makes sense. She wasn't necessarily evil per se, so much as it was she was never given the chance to be good.
Yeah, she just
Lashing out at the world in response.
she just fucked over Alphonse and the Yuminer. Yeah.
It seems like it was truly like book 4, chapter 10, when Freyr gets killed off. That was the moment that sold me on Freyja's character.
So you would put her in SSSSS plus tier?
Yeah, well, that much is
Yes.
apparent, I think.
I mean, trying to remain as objective as possible, I am truly torn between Freyja and Hellbindi. And at the absolute least, I would say she is worthy of an A tier.
Oh, but Mr. Yearlinger, has no one informed you that this tier list is purely subjective?
Oh,
So no
I mean,
need
this
to
is
be
all
objective on this
subjective.
one.
Yes, like honestly, like even if it took getting Hellbindy into S tier just to have Freyja where she deserves to be, like yes.
okay,
You
Mr.
all-
Fanboy.
You all slept on book 4, which is hilariously fitting.
Fair, fair.
Get it? Fates, where would you put her?
Yes,
Mr.
thank you
Fanboy?
for giving me the spotlight. I was just letting Yearlinger finish his story.
Yeah, thank you
Um,
for coming to my TED talk. I'm like Freyja's the best villain.
I mean-
I love you.
Oh,
I mean, I like how in-depth you went. I never really read this much into fake characters, but, you know,
so
that's kind of
what would-
refreshing to hear. That someone has this
Yeah.
much dedication.
Especially considering, like, as Freyr himself said, like, the reason Freyja turned out the way she was just because she was bullied as a child. I understand how much of an impact that can have on someone's life, if only because, well, I empathize with her. And that's not just the
Yeah.
only reason I care for her
Some of us
so
do,
much.
yeah.
It's like, it's almost like, I mean, I wouldn't say this in a completely honest comparison, but in terms of how fictional media can explore the real life effects of real phenomena through all this stuff, like, that's probably one of the most poignant examples of childhood bullying I've ever seen.
I see.
Whoa,
I see.
yeah.
Childhood bullying. Most like 90% of people can identify with that because 90% of people, even if they weren't bullied, they think that they were. So that's something.
Well, I mean, it also helps that she and I both absolutely hate mortals, so...
Yeah.
Whoops, did I just say that out
Fuck
loud?
mortals.
Anyway,
Damn, fuck mortals, am I right, guys?
with
Uh,
all of that
FEH.
finally said and done, let's come to a consensus on where Freyja should be placed.
Right.
A. At least A will work for me.
Serene says A. Yearlinger says S. Without
I
a
do
doubt.
want
I
S
I mean-
though, too.
I
I
mean,
say,
like,
We want
like
S.
if you
We
want me,
both want
if
S.
you want me to earnestly put Freyja in S, we'd also have to put Hellbindy in S, because like I said when this all started, Hellbindy isn't brilliant. I just like Freyja more.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and I
I
also
would-
want Freya and S.
Okay, so
Yes.
S. Interesting.
I
What do
mean,
you say?
absolutely, like,
Loyal
we'll
soldier,
say that.
loyal soldier, Serene. Okay.
What do you say?
You said
Interesting.
A. You said A, and then you went to S.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Like-
I would say high B, low A.
Yes, I would too go with B, more like mid B, because if
Okay,
this
so I
was
guess
if this was a boss theme tier list, I would put her like A or S because that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
But as a character, I didn't read too much into her. I'm not that devoted like Yearlinger is, so,
so I guess we'd on average we'd put her into mid A, I guess.
probably like
Yeah,
above
I
Leaf.
guess that
That's
would-
like the consensus.
Right there, that is perfection, right there, right
That is
there. Yes.
perfection.
Okay, there we go. She has been placed.
We don't- Yes.
Okay, so
One big
honestly,
hurdle out of the way.
Plumeria next.
Plumeria first. Let's hear it.
Fan service girl, number 963 or 969, I guess I should say. Nice.
Haha. Although with a little credit going
I'm
to
alive.
the fact that she's a reluctant
Hi, Rawr.
fan service
Hello,
girl.
Rawr.
Yeah, reluctant fan service girl. That's actually a trope. Yeah. Rob, what do you think about placement of Freyja in mid A?
Too high.
What would you put her?
B. Or C.
Okay.
Okay, that's the same as me and interesting then.
I put her a
She's
little higher. I
good
put her
to
in
be.
like high B. I would put her in high B, but
Hmm.
So like factoring for Rawr's opinion, would that knock Freyja down a couple?
that'd
of
probably
places?
knock her down one place,
Yes.
one or two places.
No!
Probably.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Well, hey, she's still in A tier, so you know,
Yeah.
I was.
and we have
I
to
was
factor for
scared.
everyone's opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
This
that
is
is
so
fair.
let's say two people say A,
This
two
is
people say
communism,
B,
so, yeah.
and one says
Yeah, it's just.
C.
I just think
So
like
it's,
Rawr, you
it
missed.
should be B.
You missed
Well,
my
no,
character essay.
S. One person says S, but yeah.
Oh,
I
S.
mean,
okay.
two of us
Yeah.
say S.
Yeah, two said S,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
you
says
just missed my entire character
B,
essay
yeah,
on
two say
Freyja.
B,
Hmm.
one says C. So,
I did appreciate that essay. It was very inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
Sorry.
that's my B.
Plumeria, reluctant fan service girl who talks in all of her quotes. She's like, "I'll get you going." I use her in ether raids all
Yes.
the time, so I have to hear her, lewdly talk all the time.
But I ironically,
you.
I like Plumeria to an extent.
You do?
Yeah.
I kind of like.
But
I like
you
her.
also like Pilot.
I like her
That is true.
ironically. Yeah, I like Plumeria ironically because
Ugh,
she's just
Plumeria.
the most fan servicey of fan service characters.
Yes.
It's kind of fun. I mean, she's
Your
hot. So
dreams.
But like, she's fan servicey, but she's so excessively fan servicey and so like against it at the same time.
Yeah, I like the
ironic.
irony there. It's fun. Yeah, it's kind of goofy.
Pretty
Yeah.
ironic.
It's a breath of
Doing
fresh
the
air.
dazed.
You know, this is something I haven't really mentioned, but at this point should really be mentioned about how each of the Alpha and their positions and roles are based on how shitty their real life was.
Mhm.
Yeah, Plumeria was taken in because she was like a fucking like orphan, like an urchin, and then
Yes,
that's
her mother was a whore who constantly whored herself out, and Plumeria grew to hate love as a whole because that was her understanding of love, and she hated it.
That's right. Yeah, they threw in that backstory for her one chapter in it, then they never talked about it
Yeah.
again. You know?
No.
Yes.
I mean, all of the Alpha received their backstories, and
Yeah, one
all
chapter
props to
or another.
Mirabilis for having something, but still being nothing.
Mhm.
So with
Omega
with Plumeria as a whole, it's like seeing the bits of development she receives because she did get that New Year's alt.
I would legitimately put
Which
her in,
I
like,
really
low
like.
B.
I really do love that New
I
Year's
do
alt.
too.
But
I
she
would
also
put her-
came with the most useless skill in the game.
Close ward.
Close
ward.
ward.
It's actually not that bad. It's just kind
Only
of
one person uses it. A Bowie. That's it.
Well,
Anyways,
I guess.
I
Because
guess Bowie
Bowie
does
has
it
close
well.
foil built
That's
into
right.
his weapon.
Yeah. That's actually
Yeah.
a crazy good point.
That is
there,
true. Yeah. Okay, well,
So where would we put
Oh,
her? High C,
I mean-
I'd say.
let's.
I guess I would say she goes in the middle of either the middle or the bottom of B tier, maybe. I'm not.
I would put her
Yeah,
low
yeah.
mid B. What would you say? Wow.
C tier, I guess.
Okay, so C
Yeah,
for
what do you
Rawr,
say,
B
Phil?
for
What do
interesting,
you
B
say,
for
Phil?
Yearlinger,
B.
I'd
for
put her
Serene.
mid low B.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah,
She's
I would
only
also
B,
go for
So
B.
that's a C tier.
So I guess we go low B, near bottom of B then.
I would go B.
Near the
I would
bottom
go
of B.
here, but considering
Okay,
you
we go
guys say low
Above
B,
Okay, because of Raw's C and my kind of low B,
right? So
I guess we'd put her like above Alphonse but below Air.
well, if we all agree to put her
I'd-
above Alphonse, and that's fine.
At
Yes.
the very least, she should be above Alphonse.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we could have a mile-long essay on where she compared to
yeah.
Air, but
Alphonse is B for baseline, yeah,
Exactly.
because he's right in the
And
middle.
now
of
for the
them.
last of the Alpha.
Triandra.
Oh, Triandra. Yes, Triandra's gimmick is that Peony was her sister, and then like oh no,
She
like
shed,
her,
that's it.
Yeah, Triandra's kind of like slightly coarse and I don't know. Well, at least to
I don't
someone
really
like one of.
care for her that much. She's
I don't really
Yes.
either.
Me either.
She said one of her castle quotes is just "Stop looking at me." Yeah.
Triandra is just the edgy fairy. She's just
Edgy
the edge
fairy, yeah.
factor of book
Yeah.
4.
Yes,
Yeah,
at
but
least
she's
that's
really,
the-
really nice thighs though, so she gets a plus for that.
Of course.
And,
That's what
and
you
her
would
hair-
It
expect.
gives
around,
you
yeah.
double dance.
Yeah,
because
and her
of
hair is
duel.
right, and her hair is cool, and her dance effect is cool, and she sound. I actually really like her voice. It's
Okay.
funny that she voices Selkie too.
Right,
Her voice
that's
has
such a difference.
So-
That's
Wait,
Yeah, it
she
sounds
voices
so much-
Selkie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds so much better as
In
Plumeria
Heroes, at
as
least.
Triandra. Yeah, as Triandra's voice sounds so much better than Selkie's.
yeah.
If you're
You like
asking
her
me
backstory,
about
though, right?
how she's fairly nice. She gets bonus points for that New Year's duo alt she got alongside Peony.
Oh yeah, that's right. There actually was
I'd
some
just say-
story behind that.
Yeah, like I'd say Triandra is like just ever so slightly underrated, and the reason most people place her where she is and what they would imagine to be a tier list is just because she gets blown out of the water by Plumeria and Freyja.
I would put her in like mid-high C.
Same here.
I'd put her high D above Loki.
I put her in a.
Or
I mean, I'd
underneath
put her in
Loki,
a-
actually.
Rawr, what is your take?
C for double dance.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
what-
taking all that
what about
into
you,
account,
Fates?
I'd
no,
put
not
her
I'd say
in
here.
C.
Like, exactly here.
What I couldn't hear what yours said. What Mr. 365 Worldwide said.
Sorry.
I would
So-
I would honestly place her in mid C, maybe just like ever so slightly above Peony.
Okay, so I guess averaging us all out, we put her like above Hell, but that's like that's
That's
pretty much
it.
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Well, if that's the case, I would like to put her above Peony. Sorry, I'm doing it again. I would like to put her here.
Yeah, that's fine with
That's-
me. I don't mind.
And that's what I was envisioning. It's we can call it cute that we put the sisters right next to each other.
Okay, now should we do Thor or should we do all the other characters before?
We should do
We
Thor
should do
first.
Thor.
Considering
Wait,
how
and we-
ambiguously introduced she was to the
Yeah.
whole thing, like in terms of story stuff, we could say that her proper debut, to the limited extent we can call it proper, would be in the Xenologue that built up to book 4, where we see her conversing with Leaf and Thrasir.
Yes.
I'd put her in D tier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's stuff going on, but akin to Loki, they're holding off hardcore on doing anything with Thor, and it hurts her greatly. More
So
so
I'd put her
than
like
Loki, in
mid
fact.
D. I'd put her in mid D.
Yes, but like the
I
thing
put
is,
her in mid-D too.
the thing is, Thor is like comparable to Loki or maybe even Henriette in this regard, because something about her is teased, but she's introduced as such a powerful being that it kind of deters her not being developed like every step of the way.
There is Mjolnir Strike and how that plays into everything.
Yes.
She
But
just
that's-
waits
yeah.
there with whoever's attacking, and she just
Right.
like, casually observes as you fire a cannon at her.
She
you
just
know.
flips
Like,
her
Every
hair.
time
she sighs and flips
her
her
ally
hair.
gets hurt, she just touches her hand.
She has some kind of Thor hammer. Yeah.
And,
But
and Thor's
yeah.
the last case of Dragalia Lost does her really good, so...
And she
I
has
would
big
say-
tits, so yeah, she gets points.
of course,
She has
there we
to-
go again.
Oh, she has to be in
Loki's
D
are better.
because tits. So yeah, double D's. Yeah.
Yes.
How about below
But
Loki?
should she go above...
How about right below Loki? Yeah, Loki's tits are bigger, so she gets she gets
What?
the highest.
I don't think that's even
at least
true.
I'm
at least to
kidding,
Loki's benefit, she's had
Let's
some
compare them.
level of impact on the story.
Let's not compare them,
Yeah.
Rawr. That's not a good idea.
Breast comparison.
And with that, we have closed
Mama
off
milkers.
the tragedy
Thank
that is
God,
book 4.
because I really want to go consume.
Yes.